So on October 12th, I'd received a phone call. I was heading out to dinner to offer my campaign team a sort of a post-campaign appreciation dinner, and I was running late, but my phone rang, and it was my former colleague, Jeff Wharton, calling, and he and I had known each other for nearly a decade, and of course I took the phone call, and I was surprised when I was asked to provide an approval for the sand project. Now, it wouldn't have been an approval that would have required cabinet authority and go through an OIC. I was told that all that was needed was a ministerial directive to give the director of the department the authority to move forward with the approvals. And I knew I wasn't going to offer an approval. We were in a caretaker convention mode. We had lost the election. The future of that sand mine rightfully belongs with the incoming government, and certainly not something that our government, whether it be through a ministerial order or a director's order, nothing that our former government should have been accelerating and moving forward. And so that request was not fulfilled, and I believe that that's where the project ended until the new government came in, and it's no longer under our purview.
How did the phone call end?
Just as such, where the approval was asked, and I'd said that that wasn't something that I thought we should be doing, and that was the end of the conversation.
What was running through your mind when you realized?
It took a while to understand what was being asked, and I didn't quite understand why I was in the position of being asked. Now I connect the dots that as the lead minister, my former colleague, PC MLA Kevin Klein, it was under his purview, and I now understand that he'd been asked and he declined, and as the acting minister, I was being asked to provide the approvals. And so it just took a while for me to understand and comprehend why I'm being asked this and why we would even do that. It just didn't make any sense.
Can you explain, if the government had still been in power, would there have been a different process?
I can't speak to that. It wasn't under my direct file. So the Minister of Environment had overseen all of the hearings that the Clean Environment Commission had held, had been reading the reports. I was the Minister of Families, so very disconnected from the file right from the get-go. It has been a long while since I had been Minister of the Environment, so I was not in direct knowledge. It wasn't under my purview, so I wasn't very well informed about the project to begin with. I do know that the Clean Environment Commissioner had spoken very clearly in June and signified that more review needed to be conducted in terms of the safety, and there's a lot riding on this project in terms of water quality and environmental concerns that I leave that in the hands of the current Environment Minister and the Clean Environment Commissioner and other proponents that are deeply involved and invested in this initiative.
Since the offer was published, has anyone reached out to you saying that or reached out to them as well? To your knowledge, is there anyone else who?
I don't know. No, not to my knowledge.
Okay. So do you think he asked you because you were the acting minister?
I believe so.
Okay. So Bart's story came out yesterday, and when you saw that Wharton said that he had really complied with this caretaker convention, how did you react when you woke up?
So that prompted me to write the column. And it's certainly not a column I'd woke up yesterday morning thinking I would be writing. But I saw the CBC story that was online yesterday morning, and then hearing the comments on the 6 o'clock news last night was certainly, I was prompted at that point to put my side of the story, my information out there, because I don't, there was incorrect information and that was being said, and I wanted to ensure that all the information was out there.
Have you, I know you said in the op-ed that you haven't spoken to Wharton.
I haven't spoken to any of my colleagues.
Okay, if you could say something to him, what would you say?
When we take an oath, when we get into politics, it is to represent our constituencies and to follow our conscience to the best of our ability. And we have to maneuver through a lot of decisions and a lot of differing opinions, and it's incumbent on everyone to act with integrity and dignity and do that even in difficult circumstances. And I certainly do aspire to do that myself, and hope that anybody who's an elected official would have that same aspiration.
And he is still in office. Do you want him to resign?
That is not for I'm not a colleague of his right now. That is a question other people will need to answer.
Would you support any other kind of investigation into this?
Again, that's for others to determine what the next steps are from here.
In your op-ed, you also mentioned that Heather Stephenson had a conflict, that she wouldn't be able to offer that ministerial directive. Do you know what that conflict is?
Those are dots that others will have to connect. I'm not aware of anything beyond what I stated.
You also use the words corruption and unconscionable in your op-ed. Can you explain why you use such strong words?
Making a decision in the caretaker mode is certainly something that is unconventional and unconscionable.
Anything else you want to add?
I believe that's everything.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.